if you fail at something, take it as an experience, learn from it, and you're going to be a heck of a lot better next time. And
That's right. Yeah, we learn
you
from our
know,
mistakes. It's one of the
yeah.
oldest, oldest sayings out there, but it's 100% accurate. We learn from the things that we do wrong, and if we're smart, we utilize this as an opportunity to create great success. Right. Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin Dubuc,
David Nguyen,
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in any market. Today, guys, we got a really special guest. David, this guest is yours, brother.
Yes.
Who do we have here?
Yes, the beautiful Nikki Russo.
Let's go.
Sweetest lady in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach area. I'll let her take it from there and introduce herself. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself, Nikki.
So my name's Nikki Viola Russo. I was just married about 2 months ago from yesterday, so I'm trying to figure out what my last name is still.
Congratulations. We would have brought the rice. We could have thrown some rice in there.
I have enough rice. We're actually eating the rice that we picked off the floor, so we have enough. We have enough. But, I'm in the Myrtle Beach and surrounding areas. I handle Horry and Georgetown County. But Myrtle Beach is the biggest name that everyone knows about right now, and that's why people are heading towards us. And so I'm a realtor, but I actually just completed my broker stuff, so I'll be a broker within a couple days of the paperwork getting submitted. So I handle single-family homes, mostly primary and investment properties, land, condos. We name it. We can really handle everything, over here along the coast. So I'm very excited to be a part of this today.
Congratulations. And congratulations. It sounds like you got a couple of amazing things going on over there. Newlywed, and you got your broker's license. That's awesome. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Well, Nikki,
Thank
we know a little bit about you, but our followers don't. Are you from South Carolina originally?
Not many people who live in South Carolina are from South Carolina, and I am one of them. I was a transplant, we like to call them, about 9 years ago. Originally from New Jersey, near the Philadelphia area, and as well as Delaware. My dream was to move to the beach growing up. That's where my parents brought me, other than the Jersey Shore. So,
Jersey girl.
Yeah, exactly. Up in here, not like the show. So make sure people know that. I'm much more that style, But yeah, I came here, went to Coastal Carolina.
Going on over here.
She fist bumps
when the camera's off. When we close the home, there's some fist pumping always. I'm an alum from Coastal Carolina. Go Chanticleers. It's a local college here, and I just never went back to New Jersey. So I'm just trying to help people who see the same dream of living here, as well as helping sellers locally as well. But that's awesome. A little bit about me.
So go ahead.
Everybody knows about Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, beautiful beach town. What people don't know is in the last year, Myrtle Beach is a top 10 destination where people are moving to in the United States. And if you know anything about Myrtle Beach, it's a small town. I mean, to be a top 10 destination city of where people are moving, what's the draw?
Yeah.
What's the sensation? What is it? Why is there people
moving in
droves?
I think they want to come work with Nikki. I think that's what it is, right?
So explain to the public, what's the draw to Myrtle Beach? Because every time I see it, it's just like, wow. We know it's beach, mountain, everything else, but why so many people going there? Let's talk about the economy. Let's talk about that, guys.
Yeah, 100%. It's kind of in everybody's town, right? 35, 40 minutes to the beach.
Yep.
Is the rural area. So you have your privacy, you have your hunting grounds, your fishing, lakes and ponds and all that. Or you want to be coastal living, you could be right down the street from the water. But more importantly, the lower taxes, right? The retirement sensation, we can kind of bring value to those people who are older, and want a more kickback way of life and can save on taxes and other benefits that are provided here with living primarily. But that's one of the big things. But also just, we're so up and coming. We're just about 45 years old in terms of what it used to be just under 50 years ago. It was water. People used to come 3 months out of the year, but now we're booming all year round in just 50 years, which is not like other areas. So just a little history with that. It's incredible to see, as well as be a part of as a real estate agent, and show people that, but there's a lot of opportunities here for investments as well, or just someone who wants to start a new life with a little bit warmer weather, so there's a lot of different things, and we'd be happy to share more and go into more depth with them, anyone who's interested in coming to the area, for sure.
There's a journey, right? There's a journey,
Yeah.
big, small town going big, and for a lot of great reasons. What we hear you saying is you're in a more of a rural area, but you've got beach access right around the corner, and taxes are low. That's always a positive, right? So you're bringing in some of that retirement community, which is fantastic, right? So they've got a great option. They don't have to go all the way down to South Florida, right? They can pit stop in South Carolina, and that's how you got there too, right? New Jersey to South Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're in the Myrtle Beach area. We're maybe half an hour from Myrtle Beach to North Carolina border, within a couple hours of other locations in North Carolina, Georgia, 6 hours from Florida. We're kind of essentially located in the southeast, which is awesome, for people moving here, or just investing here, So it's cool for me too, because I'm like, where can we go this weekend? There's so many cool places to go.
Lots of opportunity. You're right. David and I just got out to North Carolina. It's the first time I'd been. We flew into a little bitty airport outside of Asheville, and spent our time up there in the Smoky Hills. Beautiful, like absolutely breathtaking up there. And bears. So so you are in a really cool part of the country, because you're 30 minutes from the beach, but you're right around the corner from North Carolina with the Smoky Mountains and the bears right there. I mean, it really is a gorgeous part of the United States. So, you're bringing people a little slice of heaven, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's cool for me to see value in that slice of heaven as well. It was heaven for me, and I like when people see it as well. It's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite places to live, and I'm a little biased, but at one point it was my dream. So it's cool to be living it.
That's awesome. So you get to share your dream with your customers every time you sell a house.
Yeah, and it's exciting. I'm excited for them, to branch off into the other avenues of life, and to see where they are years later, and what they've made of it. It's pretty cool, because we have so many different opportunities here, and attractions, things to do, and it's cool to be a local, but have the guilty pleasure of being a tourist as well. So
that's
it's pretty
fun.
cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, so 9 years ago, you went to school there. Did you jump right out and hop right into real estate?
Yes, senior year of college, when I was finishing up my business management degree and a minor in entrepreneurial management. I took my real estate license. I interned with a local brokerage firm. I was all hands on deck. A lot of long hours. Sitting here now, I'm like, how did I do it? But we always find a way to do something.
We do.
And never.
The good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take hard work. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and never looked back ever since. So just moving forward, and being very grateful for the opportunities I've had.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you get started in the business, and you're a rock star realtor day number one.
It's always, that's what you hope for. Then you sit down at first, you get your computer out, your pencil out, you're all prepped, and you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah, what's step one?
Exactly. The test only got me so far. The test got me here. Now it's time to, spread my wings and fly.
That's right.
A couple ebbs and flows first when I started, but what I always say is, if you fail at something, take it as an experience, learn from it, and you're going to be a heck of a lot better next time. And
that's right. Yeah, we learn from our mistakes. It's one of the oldest, oldest sayings out there, but it's 100% accurate. We learn from the things that we do wrong, and if we're smart, we utilize this as an opportunity to create great success, right? And that's what you've done. So you get in the industry, and you're just figuring it out. Did you have a mentor? What was that process like for you?
It probably wasn't ideal, but when someone starts out at something new, you don't know what you don't know. That's a big thing in the real estate industry, sales, and a lot of other industries too. It's always, you want to learn, you want to be the sponge to absorb. So I had some mentors. Training wasn't as ideal, but at the time I didn't know, right? So I was just ready to dive deep.
Yep, let's get it done.
But I was taught the basics, and that's what got me started. And I just kept digging deeper. So I was doing a lot of open houses, talking to people, making just not making small talk, but building relationships,
That's
and
right.
that's what to me, ultimately the best thing about our job is we get to meet so many awesome people, and hopefully do business with them. But if it doesn't happen, doesn't happen. At least you met someone pretty great, So
100%.
that's what I learned
Hey,
early
Nikki.
on and try to remember.
Yeah, yeah. Talking to you, everybody has I call it their real estate superpower. What do you think your real estate superpower is? Because I kind of know. I want you to tell the audience what it is.
Yeah. Oh man, put me on the spot here.
Yes.
No, real estate superpower. I'm just empathetic. I'm an empathetic and compassionate person. So maybe just on the emotional side of things, I care. You hear that a lot, but
It's true.
I stay up worried at night for people if the inspection report's going to be a little wonky or not, right? Or if we're going to close in a couple days because of what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Every transaction in terms of the buying side and selling side, it's just like, are we going to do this? Are we going to get them out of the house? Or are we going to get them in the house?
Yeah.
As if I'm the one buying and selling it. So, and I think because it's the biggest transaction of someone's life, buying or selling, having that compassion, that empathy, and putting you in their shoes does go a long way, and it makes for a great team effort, within the transaction.
Yeah, and let's talk about that a little bit. We're in an era where economy stinks. A lot of people is getting out of the real estate business, especially with the NAR verdict. A lot of realtors don't know if they're even going to renew their license in January. In fact, they say another 20 or 30%. God knows what after the NAR verdict, how many realtors are not going to renew their license. Same thing with loan originators. But with that being said, as tough as the year has been, Nikki Russo doubled down. You basically said, you know what? I don't care what the economy's doing. I'm gonna go get my broker's license and I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna do all this. Let's talk about the audience. Most people don't get their broker license just to be a one man shop. What's the future for Nikki Russo? What are you doing the next year? Because I know you have a plan. No one just gets their
Yeah.
broker license and doesn't have a plan.
It's
So
true.
so let's
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, it's something very exciting. Going back to how I felt when I first started my license, having mentors, but not a real strategy on how to jumpstart, right? Some training was give or take, I guess you could say. I'm trying to speak lightly of it. However, I wanted to be on the managing side. I love training new agents. Keeping industry standards very high on not only an ethical level, but at a business practice level, right? And sticking to that. You don't see it every day, especially on transactions. Loan originators, realtor to realtor, client to realtor, it does vary, and that's lacked. And so I want it to be the change that I wish to see in the world. That's been my quote since I could actually read it, I think, since being young. And it starts with that, getting more education, being more knowledgeable, and assisting my up and coming brokerage firm as we're growing to different parts of South Carolina as well as to different states, to being part of the flock of birds that are helping us soar higher. So in a nutshell, that's my goal. I would like to be managing broker at some point and work my way up to broker in charge of one of our offices, and just so that's the kind of entrepreneurial thing that's finally getting me going from what I learned at Coastal Carolina University. So it's all coming into connection, and so we'll see where next year's leading to. But when I just got married, I was like, next year's going to be really a lot, and they're like, okay, you'll do it, and I'm like, no, but are you okay doing it?
Yeah.
There's big things happening, and I'm really excited for it. I really am.
Well, I love you talk about that, and you talk about next year's going to be a lot. I was actually just having a conversation with our videographer here at lunch, and he's like, we're talking about how on the go, that my schedule is and how often that I'm on the move, and he's like, man, it'll slow down at some point. I said, no, it won't, and that's okay. That's what I signed up for, right? I signed up to be in this industry because I love to move and I love to shake and I love to do the things that are necessary to create success. And you said another thing that it was really important, that you like to help other people create success, and I think that shows in your empathy and your integrity that you mentioned, because at the end of the day, you love helping people get into homes, and that's showing them success. But you said, hey, I love helping other people find success in this industry, and you've got that leader mentality. Leaders, right, are people that say, I'm going to do what it takes to create the success. It doesn't matter, right? So yeah, you probably have a really big year coming up, but I bet you're excited about how busy that year is going to be, because all the things that are going to come with it, right? And that's a lot of ups and downs, but a lot of like handshakes and hugs are going to come as a result of that. And when you look back and you see what you've created and the people's lives that you've changed and impacted, I'm sure that's what makes you feel great when you go home at night. Am I correct there?
1,000%. It's what I look forward to is, whose day can I change? What success can we find out of today if it's a bad day? It's always staying positive and helping others. It's something that's always fed me, internally throughout my life. And I have a lot of people to continue to feed through next year. So I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think, we need more people out there like Nikki. What's the new last name? Russo?
Viola-Russo.
Raiola
Uh,
Russo, Nikki
yeah,
Raiola
Viola
Russo. I'll
Russo.
get that down.
Yeah.
But that's an amazing mentality that you have, and I know that you're motivated and positive. We've talked before, and when we do, I felt that in your energy, and it's great because when people are out there looking for the right people to do business with, they need to work with people for all the right reasons, and when they can have a peek behind that curtain and go, well, who is Nikki, and why can I trust her? I think we just named off about 100 reasons why you can trust Nikki, because you're doing it for the right reasons. You said something, and I picked on it. You're like, I go home at night and I think about what's going to happen with my consumer and how I can make sure that that's happening easy. People don't realize what goes into real estate, right? They know it's a communication business. They know that we have to communicate, but they don't understand how much we really care about the customers that we do business with and how important it is for us to impact their lives. I think a lot of people look at, let's just say, teachers for that, and they go, well, the teachers, man, they care about kids and they want to impact lives, but realtors are teachers too, right? You're a teacher by nature because you're showing people how to get into the dream home that they want, and it's not as simple as, I want that house, let's buy it. We want it to be that easy. We think it's that easy, and when you're working with great partners like Nikki and like David, right, it feels that easy. It feels that easy. But if they really knew what Nikki's doing behind closed doors or what David's doing behind closed doors to make it feel that easy, man, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable the sacrifices that you make to do that for your consumers.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of funny when I get those texts at 8:30 at night. Can I call you? I'm like, great, because I was thinking about you already. Like, let's talk about it.
I didn't want to feel weird texting you at 8:30, but you got me. We're here now.
Exactly. I was thinking about you anyway, so I'm glad you brought it up. So it's pretty funny, but
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's the truth. We got to care about people in all things that we do in life. And luckily we just get to be a part of the real estate industry, and we got to put a lot of heart and love into it.
100%.
For people.
100%. So I'm looking
Absolutely.
at moving to the Myrtle Beach area, and I need a realtor to represent me. I don't know anything about it. I just know I've read a lot, and I think that's where I want to go. How does that process look when somebody reaches out to you? I'm sure you get those calls, right?
Yeah, the little bit. I mean, obviously we have to be salespeople, so I'm going to ask them a bunch of questions
Yeah.
just to see where they'll fit in, or to at least guide or give advice on where they probably will fit in the most. But it's because of how eclectic this area is and the opportunities provided. It's not just some small town like where I grew up in New Jersey, where it was, I got to stay in the school district and I need another bedroom. It's more than that here, which is pretty exciting, and I'm still learning the different parts of it too. But moving here, what it looks like, it's, do you want to, what's the overall dream house for you? Because we have it all. Is it a couple acres west? Is it oceanfront? So when you have your cup of coffee, you're looking at the beautiful Atlantic. What does that look like? And it varies. So I wish I had a simpler, better answer for you.
No,
But
it's catered to the needs of the individual, right?
it really is, because some people love that ocean front, and some people are like, get me away from it. It's just. I lived it for a year. I need to sell and go somewhere more quiet. Everyone has their preferences, but moving here, I would definitely say to do your homework, just because there's a lot of different property types that others may not be familiar with, as well as locations. If you're okay with an hour from the beach, I'm like, well, with your price range and what you're looking for, we can find you something probably 30 minutes. So just finding that resource of someone who knows that will get you further in your search. And that's why we just ask questions and make sure we're being the best we can be for the individual consumer.
Well, you've been there for 9 years. You know your way around the area. And you didn't go out and do something different when you got out of school. You jumped right into real estate, so you know the market well, and you've seen the community growing. Right, you've seen that growth. And a superior growth here in the last couple of years. We know that you guys are really picking up out there. and continue to do so. So, when people are looking for the right home, of course they need to find the right person, but what's the right person mean, right? That means somebody that is empathetic and has integrity, but it also means somebody who understands the lay of the law, right? You know what the area looks like. You know what it's going to be like to negotiate in those different marketplaces. You know what those different types of communities are that are there to offer. And as a result of that, when somebody comes to Nikki, they can get that expert advice of, hey, this is what you're looking for. I think you're best placed here, here, or here. Let's talk about what inventory is out there, right? Is that kind of, what a sneak peek behind the curtains would look like?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, what are your deal breakers? What are your must haves versus your wants? Let's try to mix it all together in a big pot of gravy, and make you happy at the end of the day. And I've lived in Myrtle Beach. I've lived in Conway. I've lived in Little River, which borders North Carolina. So I have, some personal testimonials, but also just knowing the market and working with different clientele. That's what those conversations are like. What's important to you, because we definitely have it here. We just need to dig a little deeper to see where you're going to be the happiest, which is the most important to the client, right? So it's pretty cool what we have here, in terms of just oceanfront condos, single family subdivisions or not. We have a lot of different communities here. But I call it the triangle, from Little River, which borders North Carolina, all the way out west, and then to Georgetown, which is about an hour from Charleston. So it's we got a lot going on here, and it's cool. We have a place for everybody, kind of like Cheers. Everybody knows your name, but a little different, So
I love it. Well, one of the questions we always love to ask, and I think this is a great one because everybody has a story. But what was it when we know you got into real estate early, and maybe it happened before you actually jumped in because you went to school for this. But, what was the one thing that made you say, man, this is what I want to do with my life, right? That defining moment in your career where you said, I love being a realtor because of this one thing, right, that really drives me.
Yeah, I've had a couple of them. I try to reflect a lot in my day to day and weekly and monthly, reflections of my career and why I do what I do. So one that was more recent than the prior year when I started was the COVID market. First time home buyer, veteran. We looked at more properties than I could even try to come up with a number about, and by the time we were there was already 3 offers on it. We all kind of know that hysterical, market that we were all through. Even my fiance at the time was driving and I was writing the contract, back from the showing, because we just had to get it in.
This thing in.
Crazy. Yeah, and then
Step on the
one
pedal,
day,
honey.
exactly, one day it was like 7:30. We saw the property on the market. She was like, "We got to see this," and I was like, "I'll be there at 9." And we're gunning for it. Submit the offer, and I get the email, accepted, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can't even believe we did it." We did it. They cried over the phone. Their family that they were currently living with screamed, and I was like, I got goosebumps. We're all crying. I'm like, 50,000 properties later, and you guys found your first, home. And closing costs were, it's crazy because closing costs were funded by the seller. VA, no down payment.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful success story, not in terms of happiness, but helping the client in a better financial position as well during a crazy market. We just were a great team, and it still warms my heart today. And I've become really good friends with them ever since. And every time I visit the home, I'm like, how hard we worked for this thing,
Well,
So
Nikki,
it's pretty cool.
you're a storyteller. I just went on a journey with you. I felt like I was in the middle of this race, right? And we've got this. We're under pressure, and we know we're going to get to the finish line, but we got to work together as a team, and we're cheering and crying. Man, that's awesome. And that just shows who you really are. And I'm glad that I asked that question because, wow, what a great answer. What a great answer, man. Well, Nikki, one of the other things we love to talk about too is family. We know you're recently married. What's your hubby's name?
Not a hubby, but that's okay. I always
Still
joke
be a
with
hubby.
people.
Could still.
When people ask me that, I'm like, Tabitha, and they're like, what? And I'm like, you get it, right?
I love it. I
So,
love it. So
so
Tabitha,
it's good.
so talk about
Yes.
Tabitha. We always love to talk about that. Obviously you've got another partner in life, and at the end of the day, you guys are doing some really great things together. But we know in this industry, it takes a great person behind us to be able to have that success because we are very vested in our careers, right? So talk to us about that. Tabitha's got to be a big part of that success, right?
100%. I always am like, I kind of want to do this, but I think it's too big. And she's like, but you can. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it. So she simplifies it, but she's definitely my biggest cheerleader, other than my
Yeah.
mom, who's a pretty big cheerleader, but she overpowers her sometimes, go neck and neck. But yeah, Tabitha is actually born and raised in Southport, North Carolina, which is about an hour from Little River. Beautiful little Amity Island feel from Jaws, kind of little beach town.
I love it.
And she's a district manager actually for Jersey Mike's and co-owns portions of some stores. So she's at talking about being a managing broker at one point. She's already managing a couple of different stores for her boss. So
Killer.
she's successful. We both work a lot, but we understand the value of work and family and how to either combine the two or obviously distance themselves to make it as much quality time as possible for both. So I just. Yeah, she's my biggest cheerleader, and I'm glad to have her rooting on the sidelines, or actually in the game if since she was the one driving me.
That's right.
To the showing, so I could write the contract up on the way home. So sometimes it's a little tag team. I'm like, come on, let's go, I need you. So it's pretty cool.
So you said Jersey Bikes, is that right?
Yes, Jersey Mike's.
So it's really the Jersey girls.
Pretty much, and believe it or not, I've never had Jersey Mike's until I met her, and I was like,
That's wild.
I mean, growing up, near Philadelphia, the cheesesteak, but she makes a mean cheesesteak. I have to tell you, it's perfect. I can't get it from anywhere else other than she makes it for me. We got a
We're doing cheesesteaks.
4-bedroom house and electric and water, so you can stay anytime. You got it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you something, man. Sounds like you guys are just a great couple. I feel the energy when you talk about her, and that's we always like to talk about the other half because a big part of our success is always the people that we have at home, and success in real estate is also success with our partners and our relationships too, right? It's so important. So that's good stuff. I'm glad you got a chance to talk about that. I think it's important. I always talk about my family as often as I can. So, but I've got to ask you this because I know we'd love to keep you here all day, but we can't. Is there anything that we should have talked about today that you'd love to get out there to the world?
I was trying to think of that, through and through, but you guys really did touch base on everything. I'm an open book, so if someone ever calls and has a question about anything, real estate related or, locally about what we got going on here in South Carolina, I'm a team player. I'll tell you more than you probably want to be on the phone. However long you want to be on the phone, add another 10 minutes because I'm a talker. I'm from Jersey, So make sure you really schedule your time accordingly before you reach out. But yeah, I think we handled everything today. And if there's a question, I've got an answer. But if I don't, I'll find out. So it's one of those things for sure.
Well, and I think if you listen to the podcast and if you're looking for a realtor that truly cares, right, that understands the marketplace, that is going to empathize with you and show a high level of integrity when you're out there doing the things that are necessary to get those deals done. You told the story. You literally are racing to get that contract in because you knew that's what it was going to take to get this family into their home, and that's those are the rare things that make great people in this industry. So, and you're one of those people, and we're honored to have you here on the show and honored to hear your story. So, thank you for being here with us today, Nikki. If the people out there want to find you, and we know they will, and they should, right? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Definitely call or text, whatever the consumer's easier at or whatever's convenient for them, 609-617-8326. I have to probably change my domain website name, but it's NikkiRusso.com. Then I got married. Didn't think too far ahead on that one.
Just add a subdomain in there, you'll be good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm a realtor, but will be a broker here at S.H. June and Associates, or S.H. June Real Estate, which is located in Myrtle Beach. Local brokerage firm, giving back to the community and doing the best we can to raise industry standards and helping our clients. So phone call is the best way to get to me. For now, we can handle the details later, so,
Well,
but
hey,
appreciate you guys so much.
congratulations on your success. Congratulations on your recent marriage. So many great things, blessings on blessings out there in South Carolina and Myrtle Beach, and in the household there with Nikki Russo. So thank you again for being here on the show. David, anything you'd like to add in before we wrap up today?
If I'm looking for a house in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Nikki Russo is who I'm calling. She's a phone call away. She cares, and it sounds like she's a 24/7 shop. So you can call her day or night, any time of day.
She's
So.
probably already thinking about you calling. She's like, "Wait, I'm waiting for the phone to ring."
Yeah. Don't be shy. Look into it. If you're looking to move in that area, pick up the phone. Call Nikki ASAP.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Well, again, pleasure to have you here today. Get out there and have a great weekend. It's Friday. We always shoot on Fridays, so I'm sure you're going to be busy this weekend. But get out there and enjoy some time as well for yourself. And we're your real estate success partners. I'm Devin Dubuc.
I'm David Nguyen.
And if you want to check us out, you can check us out at www.realestatesuccesspartner.com, or you can come on over to YouTube, where you can find us at the Dubuc team. Again, we're the Dubuc team on YouTube, and there you can see all of our great content. We really, really, really appreciate it with the reviews and the subscribes. And if you'd love to be a guest on the show, make a comment. You never know. We might bring you on and do a feature on you. So until the next time, we'll see you then.
Bye, guys.